Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today is Monday, January 19th, 2026. And I want to start by asking you to, well, just check your pulse. Does the ground beneath your feet in the digital world feel like it's shifting?
It does.
Because if it does, you aren't imagining it. We are, I think, living through a structural earthquake.
It's not just a software update, is it? I mean, it's not another button on the screen or a slightly faster chip.
No, it's a fundamental change in human behavior. We are moving from a world where we search for things, typing in keywords, scrolling through those 10 blue links.
Opening all the tabs.
Opening all the tabs, getting frustrated, to a world where we simply ask and then almost immediately buy. It's cleaner, it's faster, and it's frankly terrifying for anyone who makes a living trying to get noticed online.
And that's the key metric right there. The distance between I want this and I bought this.
Yeah.
Used to be a journey, right? With a lot of stops and layovers. And now it's practically teleportation.
So today, we are diving into a stack of reports that paint a picture of this new reality. We're calling this Deep Dive, the dawn of the AI advertising era. We've got reporting from Axios, The Verge, Marketing Brew, Digiday, and Search Engine Land.
The full slate.
Our mission is to figure out how ads are, well, infiltrating the AI assistants we use every day, ChatGPT, Gemini, the big players, and specifically what you need to do to survive when consumers just stop browsing and start demanding answers.
And we're going to layer in some strategic insights from the team at BrightLead, because while the technology is fascinating and a little sci-fi, the business implications are what determine if you keep your doors open in 2026. We need to move past the wow and get to the how.
Let's do it. Let's jump right in. The headline that really grabbed me this week comes from Axios. It seems the other shoe has finally dropped. OpenAI is officially making its move. They're testing ads in ChatGPT for U.S. users.
This was inevitable, right? You just can't run the most expensive computing infrastructure in history burning that much energy, that much processing power on subscription fees forever. The economics just don't work.
Not without a secondary revenue stream.
Exactly. But the implementation details here are what really matter.
Right. So according to the report, these ads are rolling out for users on the free tier and the, $8 a month Go tier. But they aren't just, popping up like annoying banners.
No.
OpenAI is being very specific about the aesthetic. They're labeled sponsored, and they are visually separated from the actual answers the AI gives you. Why is that visual separation such a big deal?
It's all about the trust economy. I mean, think about why you use an AI assistant versus a search engine.
Right.
You use it because you want a synthesized, honest answer.
You want the answer.
You want the answer. And if you ask, what is the best running shoe for flat feet? And the AI says, buy this Nike shoe because they paid me, the utility of the tool just collapses.
Instantly. You stop trusting the brain, it stops being an assistant, and, it starts being a salesperson.
Exactly. So OpenAI is trying to thread a very, very difficult needle here, they're saying. The answer we generate, the advice, the code, the recipe, that is organic and unbiased.
Okay.
But based on the context of your conversation, we will show you a sponsored block next to the answer. It's adjacent to the advice, not inside the advice.
Okay, let's unpack that so we can visualize it.
Yeah.
If I'm asking ChatGPT for a recipe for vegan lasagna, the recipe text itself isn't going to be secretly sponsored by some pasta brand.
Correct. The recipe is the recipe. The AI is doing its job as a neutral agent.
But I might see a sponsored block right next to it for that pasta brand, or, a vegan cheese alternative.
Precisely. It's contextually relevant advertising, but it's distinct from the organic output. And there's a privacy note here, too, that's worth mentioning.
Okay.
People always worry about their data. OpenAI says that personalization using your chat history to target these ads is on by default. But there is an opt-out option. They're trying to balance that fine line between helpful and creepy.
Which is always the tightrope walk in ad tech, isn't it? We know what you want before you want it. Helpful, yes. Creepy, absolutely.
Yeah.
But while OpenAI is, sort of testing the waters with these sidebars, Google seems to be diving into the deep end without floaties. We have a report here from The Verge regarding Google and Gemini, and they aren't just showing ads, they're putting buy buttons directly into the interface.
This is a huge leap. This moves us from advertising, which is just showing you something, to commerce, which is actually transacting.
Right.
Google announced something they're calling the Universal Commerce Protocol, or UCP.
That sounds incredibly technical. Universal Commerce Protocol. What is that? I mean, can we translate that into English for someone just trying to sell a product?
Sure. Think of the UCP like one of those universal travel adapters. You know how before, Every website had its own checkout, its own cart, its own login.
Oh, yeah. And you had to create an account for every single store. And remember your password, which I never do.
Right. UCP is an open standard that allows all those checkout features to live directly inside the search results or the Gemini chat window.
Yeah.
It just removes all the friction.
So instead of clicking an ad, waiting for a website to load, finding the Add to Cart button, entering your shipping address, your credit card.
The goal is to facilitate that transaction right there in the chat.
So the chat window becomes the store.
The chat window becomes the browser, the store, and the checkout counter all in one. It's a complete collapse of the funnel. And the report also mentioned a feature called the business agent.
This sounded like something out of a sci-fi movie. A business agent. Is this an AI that wears a suit?
It's very 2026. Basically, it allows shoppers to chat with brands in a specific brand voice directly on Google's platform. So if you're interacting with a Nike agent inside Google, it sounds like Nike. It answers questions about fit and materials using Nike's data. If you're talking to a luxury hotel chain, it sounds like a concierge. It's personalized, interactive commerce, but hosted by the AI.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture, we are seeing this massive convergence. On one side, you have OpenAI bringing ads into the chat to monetize the eyeballs. And on the other, you have Google bringing the entire shopping cart into the chat to keep the transaction.
We are moving from a world of search to a world of shopping and booking inside a single interface. And that leads us to the concept that I think is the most important takeaway for anyone listening today.
Okay.
We need to talk about the compressed buyer journey.
Yeah, let's drill down on this. This phrase, compressed journey, keeps coming up in the BrightLead notes. It sounds a little like business jargon, but I have a feeling it impacts everyone.
Oh, it does.
What does that actually look like for a business owner or a marketer?
Well, think about the old way. And by old, I mean like 2024.
Ancient history. The Dark Ages.
Right. The old way was a customer has a problem. They go to Google. They open 10 tabs. They read 5 different blogs.
Yep.
They compare pricing on 3 different sites. They read reviews on a 4th. They get distracted by an email. They come back. And then maybe they decide.
That tab fatigue struggle was real. We've all been there with 20 tabs open trying to buy a toaster.
It was exhausting. It was a research project. Now look at the new way. The customer asks their AI assistant, what's the best hiking boot for wide feet under $200 that has good ankle support?
A very specific question.
It's very specific. And the AI processes all that info from the entire web in milliseconds and says, here are the top 2 options. This one has better arch support. And with what Google is doing, you might just click buy right there.
0 clicks to a website. 0 tabs open.
0 comparison shopping on your terms.
That sounds great for me, the consumer. I'd love to buy a toaster in 30 seconds. But it sounds terrifying for the business that used to rely on being the 5th tab open.
That is exactly the risk. If your business model relies on showing up in a crowded list of providers and hoping the user clicks on you because you're cheap or you have a catchy headline, you are in trouble.
Why?
Because in a compressed journey, there is no room for the crowded middle. The AI acts as a curator. It filters out the noise. It only presents the best answer.
It's ruthless efficiency.
It is. If you aren't the answer, you aren't seen.
So if you can't rely on just being on the list or, buying your way to the top of the search results in the same way, what's the opportunity? How do you win when there are only 2 options shown instead of 10?
The opportunity is huge, but it requires a pivot. According to the insights from BrightLead, if you are the obvious choice for a specific problem, the AI is much more likely to recommend you.
So you can't just be a shoe store.
No, you have to be the expert in hiking boots for wide feet. You need to tighten that positioning.
Be specific.
Tighten it until it squeaks. You need to signal to the large language model that you are the authority on X. The AI works on semantic relevance. If your site talks about everything, you're relevant to nothing. If you talk about one thing better than anyone else, the AI notices.
And the second part of this is reviews. The report called them proof that travels. I love that phrasing.
It's a perfect description. In an AI world, your reviews are not just testimonials on your website that a human reads. They are data points. The AI scans millions of reviews to verify if you are legit. It correlates your claims with customer sentiment.
So it's not just about the star rating anymore.
No, it's about the content of the review. The AI reads the text. It looks for keywords in the reviews that match the user's question. So if someone asks for boots for wide feet and 50 of your reviews mention great for wide feet, you win.
So you need a steady system to earn them.
Yes. It can't be a one-time push you did 3 years ago. You need fresh, constant proof.
And the third piece of advice was about speed. Why does speed matter so much if the AI is doing the talking?
Because eventually the user has to transact. BrightLead noted that being good isn't enough. You need fast follow-up and a last-mile experience that doesn't get the user stuck.
So if the AI hands you a lid on a silver platter,
And your checkout page is broken, or your calendar link fails, or you don't answer the phone, you lose. The user just used an AI that responds in milliseconds. If your website takes 10 seconds to load, you feel broken by comparison.
the patience threshold is just
Oh,
gone.
non-existent.
So, to recap for you listening, tighten your positioning so the AI knows who you are, treat reviews like data gold, and make sure your operational speed is top tier. Because the journey is shorter, you have less time to convince them, you just have to be ready.
Exactly. You have to be easy to recommend.
Moving on, I want to touch on a buzzword that popped up in Marketing Brew this week, agentic AI. Now, we talk about generative AI making text, making images. We know what that is. What is agentic AI?
This is the next phase. Generative AI creates content. Agentic AI takes action. The report highlights that AI is moving from just generating ideas to actually handling execution inside your planning and commerce tools.
So instead of me asking the AI to write an email for a campaign, I'm asking it to set up the campaign, target these people, and hit send.
Theoretically, yes. It's getting packaged into marketing workflows where it can actually push the buttons, it can adjust bids on your ads in real time, it can swap out creative, it can schedule meetings, but, and this is a massive but, there is a warning here.
There's always a catch with automation.
The catch is garbage in, garbage out, but on steroids. Automation saves time, but only if the inputs are clean, if your tracking is broken, if your campaign naming is a mess, if your data is sloppy. Agentic AI doesn't fix that, it just helps you fail faster.
That is a terrifying thought. Automating your own failure, like a self-driving car speeding off a cliff because the map was wrong.
It happens more often than you'd think. The to-do list from the source material is really about operational hygiene. You have to fix your tracking and conversion setup so these tools can learn from real outcomes.
Because if the AI doesn't know what a sale looks like,
It can't optimize for it. It will optimize for clicks or views or some vanity metric.
and standardizing campaign naming was mentioned too, which sounds incredibly boring. Why does an AI care what I name my campaign?
It sounds mundane, but think about how an AI reads. It looks for patterns. If one campaign is named Summer Selev 2 and another is Promo Final Reel, the AI has a hard time understanding those might be part of the same strategy.
You need structure.
You need structure. You have to feed it clear data about your top offers and top customers so the agent knows who to hunt for.
It sounds like before we hand over the keys to the AI agents, we need to clean up the car.
100%. A messy house leads to messy automation. You can't ask a robot to clean a room if it can't navigate the floor.
Now, switching gears a bit, we can't talk about the future of ad tech without talking about the people trying to regulate it. Digiday had a report about the regulatory storm brewing, specifically across the Atlantic.
Yes, the European Commission, they published some provisional findings on Google's ad tech stack, and they are not pulling any punches. They've raised the prospect of penalties or even forced divestiture.
Divestiture meaning breaking it up.
Potentially forcing Google to sell off parts of its ad business to prevent a monopoly. Now, I know what some listeners are thinking. I own a flower shop in Ohio. Why do I care about the European Commission?
Yeah, why does a business owner in the U.S. care about Brussels?
Because the internet is global and the pipes of ad tech are connected. If regulations change how Google tracks data or reports on ads in Europe, those changes often ripple out globally.
Why is that?
Because it's easier for Google to standardize its tech stack than to maintain two separate internets. It changes how reporting works. It changes transparency. It changes the metrics you see in your dashboard every morning.
So if the pipes change, your metrics might just change overnight.
Exactly. And the strategy here is not to rely solely on platform metrics. You cannot just trust the dashboard the ad network gives you. You have to build a measurement habit that survives these shifts.
What does that look like practically? If I can't trust the dashboard, what do I trust?
You trust your bank account and your CRM, your own software. It means watching lead quality, not just cost per lead. It means having your own internal data on sales that you can compare against what the platforms are telling you.
So you own your own truth. You don't rent your analytics.
Precisely. You need a source of truth that you control.
Okay, we've covered the high-level strategy, the tech, the regulations. I want to get tactical. We always like to give you a news you can use segment, something you do right now today to save time or money. This comes from search engine land.
Ah, yes, the do not show list. This is a great quick win.
So the update is that Google Ads now allows account-level placement exclusions, which sounds incredibly dry, but tell us why this is exciting.
Okay, so if you've ever run a Performance Max campaign or a display campaign, you know the pain. Google loves to put your ads everywhere to get you cheap clicks.
Everywhere.
And everywhere often includes junk websites, flashlight apps, weird mobile games where toddlers are clicking by accident. We call this junk inventory.
Right.
Before this update, you had to block those placements campaign by campaign. It was tedious. Now you can create one master list of bad placements and apply it to everything. PMax, YouTube display, all of it.
Okay, so walk us through the 15-minute routine. How do we do this?
It's simple. Step 1, log in and export your placements report from the last month. Step 2, sort that list by spend and 0 conversions. You're looking for places you spent money and got nothing back.
The money pits.
Right, the black holes. Step 3, identify the obvious junk. You know it when you see it. Weird gaming apps, spammy-looking websites. Step 4, add those URLs to your new account-level exclusion list.
And the benefit is immediate.
Immediate savings. You stop leaking budget to those bad placements, and because it's account level, it protects your future campaigns too. It's a great way to funnel your money toward the places that actually work.
That is fantastic advice. 15 minutes to save real money.
And a quick tip, start conservative. Don't block everything. Just block the obvious junk first. You just want to trim the fat.
Love it. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive into the dawn of the AI advertising era, I want to take a step back. We've talked about the tech, the tactics, the risks, but let's look at the sheer scale of this battle for attention.
The numbers are staggering.
The Wall Street Journal cited a report that AI firms themselves, the companies building these tools, spent about $333.6 million on linear TV ads and $426 million on digital ads in 2025.
Think about the irony of that. The companies inventing the new way of advertising are spending nearly $1 billion using the old ways TV and banners just to get your attention.
It's incredible.
It just shows you how loud the market is getting. They are using the Super Bowl to sell you the future.
And that brings us to the final provocation for today. We have a quote from analyst Jeremy Goldman via Reuters that I think perfectly captures the tension of this moment. He said, "If ads feel clumsy or opportunistic, users can easily switch to rival chatbots."
That is the ultimate check and balance. We are in an era where switching costs are remarkably low. If OpenAI floods you with annoying ads, you move to Gemini. If Gemini feels too salesy, you move to Claude or something else. We aren't locked in yet.
The technology is ready for ads, but is the user experience ready?
That's the big question. We are going to see a lot of experimentation this year. Some of it will be seamless and helpful, like that business agent helping you buy shoes. Some of it will be incredibly clumsy, and we as users are going to vote with our attention.
And for the businesses listening, here is the takeaway. Your job isn't to worry about which chatbot wins the war. Your job is to be the business that is so clearly positioned, so well reviewed, and so easy to work with that whichever AI the customer uses, it recommends you.
Perfectly said. Focus on the fundamentals and the AI will follow.
Thank you for listening to The Deep Dive. Good luck tightening up those do not show lists, and we will catch you in the next one.
Goodbye, everyone.